My usually thing is no more than 3 mags, unless you're packing for a kid or a date or something. Like, you don't really need more than 3 mags. I've had too much ammo, and by the end, you're feeling wore out.
How many dates have you gone on that involved night hunting?
Night hunt. Ooh.
You said you're packing for a date.
Hey, I talk to a lot of guys.
I'm sure you do.
I would say the one thing you need to know is that it's dark out there.
That's a very, very deep and wise. Thank you for that.
One guy actually told me he was going to propose to his girlfriend on a night hunting trip.
I hope you didn't just spoil that. First rule of fanny packs is you never wear it as a crossbody. If anybody's taking thermal video of you, it looks like you have a purse on your back.
You know the worst part about drinking White Peach Red Bull?
It's White Peach Red Bull.
You got to tell your husband.
See, the best part about taking a girl on a date, though, is if you go out and she's not that cool, you can leave her out in the middle of the field.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. If you're looking for a date, give us a call, press 2, talk to Justice, and see what the night holds.
But yeah, better be cool.
So welcome to Nocpix Thermal Thursdays. This is our chance to catch up with you. Every week, we're going to talk about what's new in the Nocpix world, relive last week's hunts, and take a chance to give you a first-time heads up on any new products or technologies that might be coming out. My name's Angelo. I'll be your host today. And today's topic is things we wish we'd known before our first thermal hunt. So we're all going to have a discussion about lessons learned and what we took away from those experiences. So let's jump right in. We'll take a minute. Justice, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know what you do and tell us the one thing everybody should know before their first night hunt.
So I'm Justice Heiner. I work in customer service in the warranty department. Basically, if you ever have a hard time figuring out how your new thermal scope works out and you have to call somebody, chances are you'll talk to me. I help people sort out a lot of problems over the phone. And if something ever has to come in and then be test fired, I usually handle all the test firing stuff after hours. And I'm the office autist. You know, I try to at least pretend like I know a lot about thermals, you know?
So what's one thing that everybody should know before their first trip out?
The thing that I would say is everything you think you're going to need, cut that in about half, and that might be what you would use.
So pack accordingly.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremy, over to you.
I'm Jeremy Wheatley, Senior Operations Manager here. Yeah, I won't get into what I do. But I would say the one thing you need to know is that it's dark out there. And if you don't have some kind of headlamp with red light, night vision, or thermal to navigate, you're going to have a bad time.
That's a very, very deep and wise. Thank you for that. Matt, tell us a little bit about you and give us a hint on what you should know.
Sure. So Matt Ferris, product manager here, and that entails a lot of things as well, like Jeremy's job. But I think one of the first things that I learned going out is thankfully I had a really good mentor who would kind of threaten to fight me if I didn't follow his ways in the field. And kind of to Jeremy's point about having a lot, don't turn it on at the wrong time. Getting out of the truck, leaving the lights on, turning your headlamp on when you're 100 yards from a group of pigs is not ideal because they will see that and run off.
Yeah, like Jeremy says, it's dark at night. Yeah, definitely. So kind of to your point about messing something up, Justice, what's the biggest thing you've messed up during a hunt?
Not having a round in the chamber when we all get online and you're ready to shoot, and some guy is like, oh, let me rack one in real quick. And on an AR, you pull that charging handle back, you let go, and you hear that loud shunk, and then everything knows that something's out there. Make sure you have a round in the chamber before you go out.
And keep it on safe.
What he's not telling you is he's the one who had to rack his AR right in the middle of a stand.
Dude, it only happens every other time.
50% of the time, every time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Matt, how about you? What's something you've totally messed up other than turning your white light on 100 yards from pigs?
I think I took wind for granted for a long time. It took me a while to kind of realize when people say, oh, we want to be upwind and we're trying to get down, just to play the wind. It took me a long time to grasp that and definitely busted quite a few groups of pigs because sand would just be blowing straight towards them. And finally just clicked one day like, oh yeah, I have all this GPS. I can pick up some grass, see what the wind's doing. And that has really improved my odds of success.
So, Jeremy, excuse me. We saved the best for last. We're going to have a little fun at your expense today. But what's something you've completely messed up in preparing for a hunt?
Well,
Where do you even start?
Yeah.
where do I even start? I still don't know what I'm doing. My first hunt was probably like a textbook of like everything you shouldn't do on a hunt. So from having a sling, making too much noise, not having ARCA on my rifle, having too much shit on me, not having the right layers, and then also leaving my optic on all night and not putting it on standby mode so that when we finally came up on that group of pigs at like 2 a.m, first shot, clear sight picture, and then battery just died. So there's a lot to learn.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
Make sure everything's zeroed. Make sure your barrel nuts are torqued to spec if you build a rifle.
I agree.
And make sure it groups well before you go out in the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the one thing that I have to remind myself is, you're excited to get out, you're going on a hunt, it's Friday, cruising up to, Oklahoma at least, wherever we're going. And it gets dark so fast and you think you have all the time in the world. And the reality is it's dark, it's time to go and you don't have any time. So having the batteries charged and extra batteries and knowing where your ammo is and have everything ready to go, in the buggy, grab a bag, go is key to having a successful hunt. Otherwise, you're scrambling and you're going to forget something. You're not going to have fun, and you'll leave something important behind. So to that note, what's the biggest fail? One single most fail while you were hunting?
I mean, it was probably, so the first time I went out was with Tyler T. Mack and Shane up in Oklahoma. And like I said, first time, we finally came up on this lone boar, like at the top of a hill. And for whatever reason, I had a sling on my rifle, which if you're wearing a helmet with nods, you're not getting a slinged rifle over your head quietly. And so we got out of the buggy, trying to get my rifle on the tripod, trying to swim out of my sling with a helmet on. And then by that time, the whole group has already started stocking up. So, I mean, the biggest thing is when you disembark and start your stock, you need to be as efficient as possible in getting everything set up. So that was definitely the biggest eye opener for me. I was like, oh, I got to tighten all of this up, everything that's slowing me down. Cause once you're, if you're hunting with somebody like Tyler or T-Mac, they're going, they're not waiting for you. So being as efficient as possible, cutting out all that stuff that slows you down, whether it's a sling, whether it's, not turning on your optic as you're getting the rifle out of the truck, all these little things add up in time and will make you miss out on all those opportunities.
For me, I'd say just here lately, it's probably equipment. Took out one of my old faithful ARs that, I thought, I never need to clean this thing because it just keeps on running, no issues. But I mean, out here, the way we hunt, we're in these wheat fields, it's plowed up, it's dirty, you're cruising down county roads, dust and grit getting everything. And you kind of take that for granted. Was out by myself, stocked up on a group of probably 20 pigs, get about 50 yards away, think, man, this is going to be great. Let's rock and roll. Click. Gun jams. Won't go in a battery. So then, trying to rack one out, look up, pigs are gone. That's it. Just busted the whole group. And the worst part was that's the first time I've seen pigs on this property in about 2 years. So they'll probably be another 2 years before I see them again. But I think just proper maintenance and, these thermals are great. We've got this technology, but you can't forget the fundamentals too of, you can only shoot as good as what your equipment is going to allow you to do. And so just kind of being mindful of that and routine maintenance and spending time at the range, make sure everything functions properly before you go out, and embark on these hunts.
Yeah, it's the little things. Justice, how about you, man?
So little things. A lot of times when I go out, I take people come with me that don't have a lot of experience with thermal. And so I help them kind of learn things. And something that I picked up from my first time, when you start to think your scope, you get out in the dark and then you have to adjust a setting or you have to swap a battery or something. And all of a sudden you start to realize how little you actually know. So a big advantage for me that I've had working in customer service and stuff and just getting able to play with things is now I can run one with my eyes closed. Just being able to know where the buttons are that you need, or, be able to know where to find something on your scope with your tripod, knowing where to find the ball head to be able to make adjustments, things like that on the fly. Because when it's in the dark, you can't see. And then sometimes the best investment I've had is a little headlamp, like a little old school red light headlamp. White light will give you away. I found red light does really well. If you need to see something, turn it on a little bit, gives you a little bit. Doesn't necessarily give you away, at least in my experience, it hasn't. And that can make all the difference, especially if you don't have a Gucci night vision set up on a helmet. Just being able to get to where it is you're going really helps out. My first hunt, I wish I would have had that because I was stumbling through the dark, going off a sound on a sounder of pigs. It was zero illumination. We'd stop every 10 steps or so and set the guns up to look through the scope, and then all of a sudden they were there, and then we shot and wanted to take pictures, and I might have gotten lost out in the field trying to go back to my phone.
Allegedly. What about clothing?
Let's turn this back on you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
What's your biggest fail?
I've had a lot. I think the one that sticks out the most is I got so excited one time. We were hunting with Chris, and we saw 2 coyotes in a field. We pulled off in the field, and we had the wind right. Everything was good. And I got so excited that I jumped out of the truck without my helmet and proceeded to go in the direction of this coyote. And I had a 4-power scope on my rifle. And I got far enough away that I figured out it's not worth going back. I mean, and then I'd have to walk 10 yards, kind of like you, but I'd have to stop, wiggle the rifle around in the tripod, find the coyote, make sure it's still there, keep walking. And then I just had like a really skewed sense of distance with only having that 4-power, because I'm used to walking around with helmet mounted thermal. And so I was like, well, I know it's close enough. I'm not going to risk it anymore. I'm going to shoot the coyote. And then inevitably the second one, I probably could have got it if I'd had, a little bit wider field of view on the helmet mounted to find it. But that was pretty big. That was a pretty big whoops. But you get excited. There's a coyote in the field. You got to go get it. So I forgot my helmet. So top that.
Yeah, and I forgot my phone because it was my first ever hunt. Kind of going back to that, got out, got going. And then we shot, and I was like, oh, my first set of pigs. Like, let's take some pictures, because there was a big one in there. And my buddy that I was with, he was like, hey, go grab your phone. It's the truck. Well, no illumination. So I'm excited. I'm hauling ass, just running to grab my phone. And I trip and stumble, and I wad up. I just yard sail, ass end over tea kettle, wad up. And then I get up, and I have no idea, because and I'm sitting there trying to be quiet because we had seen some other stuff, and I'm like, Drew, just kind of walking around, not wanting to make noise. Meanwhile, he's got his little monocular, and he's just watching me, and he's just laughing because I'm 30 yards from the truck, and it took me about 20 minutes to get there, and then I got my phone and got back, and he took pictures and made fun of me. But something to navigate in the dark and kind of get your bearings goes a long way.
Yeah. It's like Jeremy says, It's dark in the dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah.
I think that really speaks to like the benefits of having a handheld scanner, especially for, even if you don't bring your helmet set up, you can safely pull out like a thermal handheld and just be like, oh yeah, that's where I'm going, or that's where my friends are, or that's where the truck is. Because there's nothing worse. This is probably the mistake that I make every time I go out now. I'm always kicking myself wishing I had brought a scanner, and I have no excuse. Because I can get them. You just feel useless sitting, like if you're, on a property and you're driving around and everybody's scanning out the windows, and like you're just sitting there with night vision, just being like, yeah, look,
Stars look good.
yeah, look at those trees. Like you're useless, And it's the same thing when you're, stalking up on a group, like even under night vision, like a pig might just be like a little dark spot, and you have a general idea based on the heading, or if somebody has a laser rangefinder, you can kind of like orient yourself. But like being able to be like, oh yeah, there's a group there, being able to pull out a scanner and just like see what you're looking for really goes a long way.
That's what I think a lot of people probably don't realize or quite understand either is the lack of depth perception with thermal, and why, all these range finding devices we have now are just such a game changer, because there's no more guessing. You know exactly how far away that pig is, how far that coyote is, or even if you're just trying to get to a landmark to go make a stand, say, okay, we'll walk 100 yards that way. You might take 50 steps and think you're there, just because if you're just scanning through thermal, just everything's so flat. Yeah, it might be great image resolution, but unless you really know that property, it's going to be hard to tell how far away actually is.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing when I first started thermal hunting. It's like you always thought there was like a way bigger pig. It's like it takes a while to get your brain kind of calibrated to know, all right, that's a pig at 100 yards or 50 yards or, what that might be. And so, that compounds too with different magnifications, different lens sizes on scopes. So that story I was telling earlier with that 4-power scope, I really had to stop and kind of think about things versus a more intuitive with a, smaller handheld, something with wider field of view where you can just kind of look at it and know, all right, it's close to what my eyes would see. I know that's 200 yards or it's 20 yards.
Something at 300 yards looks like it's 100 yards away under 4X base mag.
Yeah, for sure. And then you walk up to it and it's a little piglet and you're like, oh, what was that?
I thought that was a huge pig.
Yeah. So what about clothes? Clothes is a big part of hunting. We were talking, Justice, about your Velcro space boots you like to hunt in.
Oh, yeah. Moon boots, great. No. Honestly, you don't need to get all involved. Because I come from the Rocky Mountains where you do a lot of like high country mule deer hunting, daytime stuff, and you learn real quick, you really don't need camouflage in the dark. You don't need to worry about your fancy Kuiu, your Sitka. Just don't wear white. I'm a big fan of Wranglers, dark T-shirt, or even cutoffs, if it's warm enough outside. And maybe a good pair of boots with some arch support so that if you step in a hole, you don't roll your ankle and are miserable for an entire weekend of hunting in Oklahoma.
Speaking of, a couple weeks ago, we were hunting and Shane steps out of the truck wearing when we left the lodge, he was camoed out, all dark clothes. But then for some reason, somehow during the truck, he put on a bright white T-shirt as an overshirt because he was a little cold. So we thought that T-shirt was the layer he needed. We just all get out and look at him. And, there's a handful of us and it's pitch black. And we just look, 20 feet away, I can see him just glowing over there. He's like, take that off. Like, what do you do?
He probably slammed the door to the truck too.
Oh, yeah. Just let him know we're there. Give him the advantage.
Hey, look, what's that? I don't know, but it's not normal.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the guy who kind of got me in all this thermal hunting in the first place, he would hunt in shorts and Crocs, rain, sleet, snow, or shine, summer through winter. And I always thought that was the craziest thing. And he used to also kick his Crocs off for a real serious stalk. This guy, he's a big dude too. He would just take off across the field barefoot, with just no care in the world other than killing those pigs. And I would stay back and watch because I don't want to take my shoes off.
You want to get your feet dirty?
Yeah. But
fire ants or like?
Yeah, cactus, everything out there just didn't matter. Had to go kill the pigs. But I'm a fan of nice footwear. We spend a lot of time walking around. I think it does make a huge difference, especially for as much time as we spend out there. If you're walking around 5-6 hours or longer across varied terrain, like it's going to take a toll on you, especially in Texas and Oklahoma. Like the weather changes all the time. It might be 100 degrees and sunny, and it might be pouring down rain that night. So just kind of, maybe carry an extra pair of moat boots in the back of the truck just in case. It saved me several times.
Yeah, a pair of Vans only goes so far.
That's right.
On a weekend, right?
Yeah, we had a buddy come out with us a couple weeks ago, and he was wearing Vans, and we were walking across this really muddy field. I was just like thinking about him the whole time. I was like, dude, you should put boots on. Yeah. But then at the same time, I had like these little like Solomon like trail running shoes, almost like solid boots, held up pretty well, but like not waterproof. And my foot got stuck in the mud, and like I dropped down to a knee, and my shoe fell off halfway. So I'm like in the process of rethinking my footwear there. But like the other thing is that like you want to make sure your clothes aren't loud. We were out with a buddy, deep winter, like December, freezing cold, and he had like these giant Gore-Tex.
The super nice Sitka waders, And he was warm, but it was loud.
It was the loudest thing, just
the windbreaker. I love it when somebody forgets to pack a rain layer and it starts, so they dig out the whatever windbreaker from the truck. And it's like, buddy, really?
Yeah, that's loud. Too loud.
But layers is a good point. You know, again, if you're like us, weather changes all the time. It might be super hot, or it might be kind of cool when you start out. And the more you start moving around, you know, more active you get, you start sweating and getting uncomfortable. That's kind of taking your mind off everything else. And next thing you might forget to grab the maggot, you know, to put in your gun, or you might forget to chamber around because you're thinking about being uncomfortable. So whatever you can do to kind of maximize being comfortable in a variety of conditions is just going to help everything else go that much smoother.
Yeah, I think the thing I like to always remind myself is, you know, be bold, start cold. Because I don't know how many times I've been, you know, you're riding the buggy, you're cold, you know, you're sitting still for half an hour, you find a group of pigs. They might be 200 yards, 300 yards out into a field. You get out there, it's muddy, you're fighting, dragging it through it.
Humid around here.
You know, humidity, you shoot the pigs. If you go to drag them out, and the next thing you know, you're so daggum hot and you can't, what are you going to do in the middle of a muddy field? You know, you're not going to take anything
Walk
off.
it back out.
And you just end up mad at the world. So I prefer to be cold.
I'm kind of same way. When we went out to Olney that one time, we hiked out across that field. We must have hiked probably, what was it, 1,000, 1,500 yards to get to that group of pigs. We walked a long way, and it was like, it was all right, but like I've made that walk in that same field before when it's been cold, and when you get out of the truck, you're like, oh, this is bad. But by the time you get out there, it's like your blood's flowing, your adrenaline's going, because at least I get excited when I'm about to shoot something, that it's like it's not even that big of a deal. So in Texas, be warm, but a good test that I've always done is if you can hear yourself moving around just doing like simple things, you're too loud. Because even when you're on stand scanning, you're going to be moving at least a little bit, trying to find things. So, yeah, dress so you can be quiet.
So, Matt, we'll start with you on this next one. What is one piece of gear you wish you had but didn't when you got into hunting?
When I first started?
Yeah.
Definitely a scanner, a handheld scanner, because this was probably 6 or 7 years ago. Got my first time one because my buddy had one, and it turns out my red light strapped to the scope just wasn't cutting it anymore. So finally upgraded to thermal, and didn't know what a shooting tripod was. Didn't even know such a thing existed. So we would just take off, you know, before we thought was a group of pigs. You have to stop. Kind of they were talking about look through the scope, put it back down the sling, walk a little bit, and it just gets, one, tiresome in a hurry, two, not ideal by any means. And so just if I could have gone back to myself then, maybe spend a little bit less on the scope and kind of split that up to where I could afford both a scanner and a scope, because you're just going to get so much more capability out of that combo than try and do it all off of one unit.
I would say a dedicated weapon sight. So I was running a clip-on for my first time around, which more than capable, but it's like a jack of all trades, master of none type of thing. And so the field of view wasn't as good, the image quality wasn't as good, and it looked cool.
That's half the battle.
But I was not an effective hunter by any means. So I would definitely say a dedicated weapon sight. I think I ended up using one of the Ace predecessors, and like they are extremely capable and, you know, great units.
I think that's still on your rifle today, isn't it? You fell in love with it that night.
I did, yeah.
Kind of along this, like a scanner or a helmet setup. Like I say, my first hunt ever, I got lost in the dark, and after that, I was never again. Like a scanner, and if you have a scanner, it's worth getting the little lanyard or something to retention of it, so that way you can drop it. You know, a guy like me that's really only got good use of one hand, you know, you have limited real estate you're working with there. Yeah, I would say a scanner or a helmet setup. I prefer helmet setups just because it's hands-free and it's easier to use, but helmets get heavy, and it's nice to have a scanner or something so that you can at least navigate in the dark, get to where you need, and provide more use, because sometimes you want to look at something, but you don't want to point your gun in that direction. Jeremy mentioned about being able to see where other people are. You don't want to point guns at your friends in the dark. So if you have a scanner, you can do all that a lot easier.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, you know, the lanyard's a nice aspect of a handheld, because you can just hang it around your neck.
Yeah.
So assuming it's not flopping around, you always know right where it is. You don't have to worry about, did I put that back in my pocket? Where'd it go? You can kind of scan with it. You can drop it. It's out of the way. Get on a tripod.
Yeah.
Makes things a lot faster.
And like in the wintertime, I have a little like zip up hoodie that like I'll zip up halfway, and then when I'm done, you just kind of tuck it in there, and it eliminates that flop. Real easy. And then, you know, if you can't afford to break the bank and get a scanner and a scope, get a scope, and then something as simple as a little red light headlamp, so you can at least see where you're stepping, see where you're walking. Like that's a decent little compromise for guys on a little budget. That's something real easy. I still use my red light, you know, when it comes time to like clip your ARCA into your gun, things like that pay dividends that you just don't necessarily think about when you're swiping the credit card for this hobby.
So I'm team fanny pack when it comes to handhelds, but the first rule of fanny packs is you never wear it as a crossbody, because then if anybody's taking thermal video of you from behind, it looks like you have a purse on your back.
You look really fashionable, though.
I know. It's just like, got my little sling bag.
It's very European of you.
It's a crossbody man bag.
It's a satchel. Indiana Jones.
Immerse, if you will.
Yeah, immerse. But fanny pack with, you know, a Lumi or something in it, and then you got like a front zipper pouch with like a couple 18650s or IBP 2s or whatever the Lumi takes now. That's a great little setup, very minimalist, easy to use.
I'm a big fan of just a regular bino harness like you'd use for day glass. You know, most of our scanners are going to fit in that main pouch, and then usually if I have an extra pouch or two on the side, great place to store extra batteries, mags, kind of keep everything right there within arm's reach without looking too extra tactical.
Yeah, you don't want to look like when Shane came up there at Oklahoma the first time with a plate carrier on. And
Well, Justice is team chest rig.
I am team chest rig all the way. Again, I hunt with a lot of people that don't have experience with thermal, so they'll use like stuff that I have. And so I'm always the guy that's packing batteries for everybody. I can tell you how many times I've on exactly 3 stands I've ran out of ammo out of my one mag or both my mags, or one mag had a malfunction, had to drop it, put my spare in. You run out of your 20 round mag, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, the pigs are still here, but it looks like I'm done. So I'm a fan of like the little Haley micro rigs or like Mayflower. They have all kinds of ones, but like something that lets you hold 3 mags and then a pouch to put anything from batteries to a right in the rain to, you know, first aid kit. You never know when you get caught on a barbed wire fence and get a boo-boo and you need to put some Neosporin on or, you know, something so you can keep hunting all night.
sound like there's a little experience behind that one.
Not at all. None.
First aid kit, though, that's a great thing, too, that a lot of people probably don't think about. I always have one fairly handy just because, again, one, you're stumbling around in the dark, no telling what you're going to step on or run into. But then, like, we've been out hunting in West Texas before, and it feels like everything out there is trying to kill you, from all the cactus and the rocks and cliffs. And, you know, at any time, something could, you know, just even minor cuts that might affect you later on in the night. Just, you know, put a Band-Aid on that. Definitely can get you back in the game a lot easier.
Yeah, it's better to have that, you know, with you than, oh, it's back at the cabin.
Yeah.
So on the opposite end of that, what's one piece of gear that you have had with you and absolutely wished that you didn't on a hunt? Something you got out there and you're like, man, leave this doggone thing in the field.
Probably to kind of counteract Justice's argument is too much ammo or mags. When I first started out, I thought we were going to go shoot 1,000 pigs a night and would carry ammo accordingly, you know, and then you go out there and shoot 5.
Full combat
you know, you're just
loadout.
carrying 20 pounds of ammo, you know, and again, when it's hot outside or when it's cold, like, you're just dealing with more weight on you that you don't need, and it's taking up room for other stuff you could be using. And so I think definitely I overpack on ammo most of the time, which hasn't failed me. You know, I haven't ran out yet, but it definitely can get a little cumbersome, burdensome. When you get back home, you're just unloading all the stuff you didn't use, and it seems like a waste.
I mean, I'd agree with that. My usually thing is no more than 3 mags, unless you're packing for a kid or a date or something. Like, you don't really need more than 3 mags. 1 in the gun, and then 2 spares in case you need more ammo or something happens and you have to ditch one. But yeah, I've had too much ammo, and by the end you're feeling wore out.
How many dates have you gone on that involved night hunting?
Night hunt. Ooh.
You said you packing for a date.
Hey, I talked to a lot of guys.
There it is right there.
You know what? I talked to a lot of guys on the phone. One guy actually told me he was going to propose to his girlfriend on a night hunting trip.
I hope you didn't just spoil that.
If he didn't do it in a year and a half since he told me, I don't know.
Did he send a wedding invite?
No.
There's some new ones up there this week.
Is there?
Yeah.
If you're out there, buddy, and you actually did it, good on you. Like, I got your back. These guys can make fun of me for it, but I got you.
Next time you go on a date, we'll have you on the next week. And
I'll let you know how it goes. See, the best part about taking a girl on a date, though, is if you go out and she's not that cool, you can leave her out in the middle of the field. Say you're going back to the truck to get something.
hey, you heard it here first, folks. If you're looking for a date,
It's a great escape plan.
give us a call. Go to the website, get the phone number, give us a call. Press 2, talk to Justice, and, hey,
Yeah.
see what the night holds.
But yeah, better be cool or the night be holding a lot more. Like, you're just going to be out there all by yourself by the end of it. But
Jeremy, what's one piece of gear you wish you didn't have but found yourself carrying around on a hunt?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So my whole kit has become so much more streamlined since the first time. Like I said, no sling. Definitely Arca on the rifle because playing with a hog saddle in the dark isn't fun. Or lugging a tripod with a rifle mounted into a hog saddle, not fun. This might be controversial, but helmet mounted ear pro, you're never gonna wear them. You're never gonna put on ears before you start shooting. So don't need that anymore. And then I way slimmed down my like mag loadout. It's usually like 2 mags, maybe 3. And usually I'll just run it like in a little mag caddy on my belt so that it's like not getting hung up on stuff in the car, super streamlined. Yeah, whole bunch of stuff I lost after my first trip.
Well, fortunately, you lost that 112 years and found a bolt gun, so that was a big improvement.
It's true. Well, I still run the Mark 12.
With a new barrel nut and barrel.
Same barrel nut, just torque to spec.
What is the most important part of everybody's kit? Like, what is the one thing that is not up for discussion? It's going with you every time, other than the
gun.
obvious. Other than the obvious, yeah.
I think nowadays a good steady tripod. Like I said, back in the day, we were just shooting freehand, and our hit rate was abysmal at best. We thought we were doing all the good, but now just shooting off a tripod has made all the difference. And watching somebody trying to struggle without one just makes me realize like how much it helps you, one, get better shots off, kind of more ethical hunting. And it's safer too. You get 2 or 3 guys in a line. If you're kind of pinned to that tripod and you're not swinging all over the place, it definitely, presents a much safer environment for everyone involved. I would say tripod. Of course, on top of having a good thermal and good gun, I think tripod has been the biggest game changer for me.
I was kind of leaning towards tripod, but I'll go one step forward. Arca. Like, Arca tripod heads, they save in weight. That almost doubles as a sling. You can just clamp your gun in, and then you just carry the tripod, and then it's all set up so that there's no, like, I know there are some out there that have the little like clamp heads that you can like squeeze the side of your gun. I'm not a fan of those because you kind of got to fiddle with them when you get out there. They're a little bit more money, but they're worth it. You're already going to spend a couple $1,000s on a thermal optic anyway. Spend the extra money, get an Arca tripod head. It makes a world of difference. And then a tripod that fits you. I made the mistake the first tripod I bought.
It's like a
Shout
tripod
out
for
to Vets
ants.
Tripods. Great tripod, but it's the infill, and it's like fully extended. It's like 36 inches or something like that. It's great for the backcountry when you go up into the mountains and you're kind of doing stuff and you're sitting anyway. But when you get out here on the Texas farm fields, you're sitting there and you're dang near on your knees just trying to use it. Like, get comfortable where you can stand straight up and just basically walk into your gun. Like a good fitting tripod, just to echo Matt, that is probably the most underrated and often overlooked thing that people neglect on their setups, I'd say.
Yeah, tripod and a good ball head.
This stuff's all a system, and it all kind of works together. And
And then don't collapse the legs when you're hunting.
Oh yeah, always
Set
throw
it
in
and
the bed.
forget it.
Yeah, set it before you even leave the house. Set it. If you're going out in a truck, lay it in the bed, or if you're hunting out an SUV where you do kind of have to collapse it, collapse a set of legs where you can just go to full extension when you're getting it ready, getting it. So that way you don't have to fine tune or make adjustments, just full extension on what needs to be extended.
And then extend the bottom legs first, the thickest legs.
Yes.
Yeah, those of you that aren't old enough to have hunted in the shooting sticks days, you don't know what you're leaving behind with a good tripod. So I think that's outside of the normal. I say that's my go-to.
Guys who haven't hunted since 2014 in the dark might make fun of you, because it's a tripod and it's all that new fancy stuff, but it's what the cool kids are using these days.
Jeremy, we'll start with you. To summarize the entire discussion, if you had to start over today with no gear, within reason, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
I would buy a dedicated thermal rifle sight first, then save up, get a scanner. This is probably after, obviously, you've got your gun, you've got a suppressor, you've got a tripod. I would leave the chest rigs at home. I would leave pretty much everything except for a couple mags and spare batteries at home. Have the truck stocked with Uncrustables, some water, some energy drinks. That's really all you need, and a couple buddies.
You gotta have some good, like sour gummy worms too. That's the number one rule of night hunting.
Or Shack XLs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lucky gummy snacks of some sort, and copious amounts of energy drinks. Because no one tells you this when you start, but you have to do this stuff out past your bedtime. It is pretty late. There's plenty of times we've rolled in at 4 or 5 in the morning, and trying to do that on no caffeine is pretty rough.
Yeah, it adds up, especially day 2, day 3.
Oh yeah, it just keeps compiling on top.
Yeah,
you never catch up. I'm still tired. I've been hunting in 2 months.
Justice, how about you? What's one thing you do different if you were starting over? Like, where would you go with your setup?
I would invest more in a better hunting rifle. When I first started, I had a 14.5 AR and an 11.5 AR. They were both doing about the same muzzle velocity, so it was a wash. If you're in the 2.2, 3, 5, 5, 6 game, I'm telling you now, 18-inch barrels are cool again. It's 2025. If you're going to hunt with 5.56, 18 inches is great.
Coming from a guy that shot a PRS match with an
11.5, yeah. I did stretch it out to 750, but I would not recommend. It was like lobbing rounds in there. But I've been able to see just in shooting coyotes how much faster they drop and go down shooting them with an 18-inch 5.56 versus the 14.5. And that's at 150, 200 yards, same hit placement. I would invest, just a longer barrel pays dividends regardless of what round. But to kind of backtrack, I have another answer, a suppressor on your gun. It's not just because it's easier for you, but I can't tell you how many times we've got done shooting, and normally when you blow everything in the neighborhood and they'd take off running, we've got done taking pictures with pigs or whatever. And that one night we went out, we shot a group, and then it wasn't 5 minutes later, a separate group of pigs came rolling right through.
Moseying through, yeah.
And they didn't even know we were there, and we had just shot a bunch of their friends. It's all because we were shooting suppressed. So a good suppressor, tripod, and don't be afraid of a longer barrel. They're cool.
So let's do a little lightning round. Have a little fun. These are just some off the wall questions, short answers, just whatever comes to the front of mind. So, Matt, if you had to pick a bolt gun with 5 rounds of 308 or a semi-auto and 300 blackout with an Estendo mag, which one are you picking?
Bolt gun, 308.
All day?
Yep, make it count.
Jeremy, how about you? Extendo mags.
Spray
just for fun.
Justice?
Depends on the day. If I'm hunting pigs, I'm going the 300 blackout with the Stendo mag. If I'm coyote hunting, I'm taking the 308
with a spare mag for your date.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
Double Stendo.
Yeah. How else is she going to shoot me if she doesn't have ammo?
One of those double.
Hey, easy now.
Double Stendo, 60 round mag pull drum mags. There you go.
Who in the office is least likely to show up ready to go on a hunt?
Not me. I'm the most ready.
Don't even think about saying me.
I'm going to give it to Shane. He likes to goof around, kill too much time, and then to your point, it's dark, we got to go. And stuff's still charging, mags aren't loaded.
Shane will roll up in his Mazda, and it'll just be a pile of helmets, magazines, half-open bags, rifles laying around, batteries all over the place. And it's like, dude,
everything
how do you put
need
anything
to hunt,
away?
Just nothing put together.
Mobile hunting rig.
Yeah.
I'm going to say me. Like You guys haven't really seen my setup, but that's what my car looks
I've seen
like.
your car, yeah. I've sat on a Desert Eagle before.
Oh, by the way, Desert Eagles, not as cool to shoot a pig with as you'd think they are.
Actually, that's another thing that I should say. Never let somebody shoot a downed pig with a Desert Eagle when you don't have ears on.
I mean, the ears you took off your helmet because you didn't need them.
If you're going to do that, at least put a couple like brass casings in your ear for ear pro.
That actually works.
Yeah. It was like instant tinnitus though. Just
So Red Bull, Celsius, or rain, Justice?
if I'm trying to stay out all night, Celsius.
I would say, I'm a rain guy, but Celsius, because there's nothing worse than driving around all night, not seeing anything, having to piss really bad, and then you finally see something. You're like, "Hey guys, wait! I gotta take care of this."
Why don't they make rain in like a 12 ounce?
Like a baby can.
Yeah.
They do make those little ones.
Where?
Rainstorm.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say all three because there's definitely nights when I've had all three of those within, a few hour period.
Yeah.
Probably Red Bull though.
What's your flavor?
White peach. Sugar free.
White peach.
You know the worst part about drinking white peach Red Bull?
It's white peach Red Bull.
You got to tell your husband. Jeremy, you're a Sea Bear guy?
Sea Bear.
Sea Bear? Justice, which flavor?
Peach vibe or raspberry peach Celsius.
Man,
You know.
guys got me second guessing.
Dude.
Going out in the dark. You're taking people on dates, drinking.
Dude, thermal hunting's just peachy, dude.
Just peachy.
Be here all week, huh? 9 o'clock show, totally different than the 7 o'clock show.
Oh yeah. That one you can expect 2 elephants to fall out of the airplane or 3 elephants fall out of the plane. 2 will hit land, 1 will hit water.
Still working on the delivery there, aren't you?
Yeah. Like I say, we're working on it.
Justice, why don't you tell us some of your favorite customer service lines from when a customer asks how you're doing?
Oh, the best one, my go-to is the Dave Ramsey, better than I deserve. How about yourself? That one's always good because it's like, it's something similar to what I've heard, but it's a little different. Or it's better to be pushing up daisies than to be putting them down, or putting them down than pushing them up. See, I botched that one too.
Wow.
Or what was another good one I had? Oh yeah, living the dream one nightmare at a time.
God, I hate that one.
Wow. Gonna need to work on that.
Just as soon as a customer picks up the phone, they're cringing. They're just like, "Oh God,
Just hang up and call back. Maybe
can I get somebody else?"
maybe Tristan or Carmen will answer next time. We'll call back. They got better jokes.
They don't have jokes.
Not as good as yours.
No.
All right. Well, I think that's our sign. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for joining us on this week's episode. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll go ahead and address those in future episodes. And make sure you're following us on Instagram, Nocpix.us. All the cutting room floor extras that show up will be on short form on social media. And check out our website and sign up for our free email newsletter where we'll get the latest information to you as well. Thanks and have a wonderful day.
The one thing you need to know is that it's dark out there